Woo! We are back. Hope everyone's doing well. My name is EQ and welcome to Stonkaholics. Hopefully you didn't miss me too much though, but today we're going to be talking about Sandbox or Sand. It's going to be an NFT Metaverse game similar to Decentraland, but very unique in its own ways, and it still has some pretty decent room for growth. Similar to what Axie Infinity's has, and if gaming NFTs really pick up, it does potentially have the room for a 10x. But before we get into this video, if you could throw a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, come join our accelerator program, that would be greatly appreciated. Let's get this intro rolling. Sandbox is going to be ranked at 114th on coinmarketcap.com, sitting just shy of 80 cents per token. Now it's token because it is based on the Ethereum blockchain. You can see the Ethereum contract. And they also have the CertiK audit, which we'll get into a little bit later. Always good to see. Currently a market cap of 708 million, so it is relatively high, but there's still room for growth. You have a max and total supply of 3 billion and a circulating supply of 892 million, which is 30% of the max supply. It is deflationary, so keep that in mind moving forward. It is finite. And it's available on a lot of exchanges, including Binance and KuCoin, FTX, which we're going to be talking about in an upcoming video, and a bunch of other ones. Taking a quick look at the Sandbox, you can see they're hyping up this Snoop Dogg virtual concert, this VIP concert with an NFT ticket that's going to be hosted exclusively within the Sandbox Metaverse. So they got some big names clearly already on the project. That's amazing to see. You can play, create, own, and govern a virtual world made by players. Now partners, as you can see, there's a lot. Roller Coaster Tycoon, Atari, Care Bears, The Smurfs, Deadmau5, Avenged Sevenfold, Richie Hawtin, Hell's Kitchen, The Walking Dead. And the list goes a lot deeper than that. It's actually pretty insane the amount of people that these guys are working with. Now the Sandbox is a virtual world where players can build, play, own, and monetize their virtual experiences. They empower artists, creators, and players to build the platform they always envisioned, providing the means to unleash your creativity. You'll be able to create in your own land, so non-fungible tokens are virtual tokens which are minted on the blockchain for digital scarcity, security, and authenticity. They are unique, indivisible, and non-interchangeable, allowing true digital ownership of in-game assets. Now, Sand is the main utility token that allows you to buy and sell lands and assets in the Sandbox Metaverse. First thing you can see is the marketplace, Vox Edit, and Game Maker. So you can see make in-game any play. Now what makes this very interesting is you'll be able to build games for the metaverse. Anyone can build a 3D game for free. There's no coding required. You can contribute to a vast metaverse which is filled with amazing creations and experiences already. And it's a play to earn. You'll be able to monetize the games you create. Play to earn is unlocked through our rewarding model for players and creators who will have a strong incentive to play and create with rewards that have real world value. And they're pretty consistent with their changelog. There's a lot of bug fixes and enhancements that they've been working on and consistently changing. They were released in 2018, so they've been around for a little while. Here are some of the games that are built with the Sandbox that you can go through and play and make a little bit of money with, which is pretty awesome. Definitely check out this website and check out some of these games. They're worth your time. Now when I mentioned the partners before, we saw these, but we didn't mention all the other ones that were below, like Maker, Solidified, Matic, Opera, Helix. You have Yield Guild, Gala Games, Gitcoin, PlayDAP. There's so many big names on these projects, it's insane. There's a lot of money behind the Sandbox. Here's another example of a game that's built on the Sandbox, the Walking Dead game. With a different play on it, being able to own Walking Dead lands and so on and so forth is really cool. Going to their CertiK audit, they had a security score of 92, which is great to see. It's a very high score. They've gone through 4 audits already. This is the version 4 of the audit, so they're transparent, they're consistent, they're always trying to make their product better. See, they barely have any negative reviews. They have a lot of activity. The token transfers have gone down and the active users have gone down a little bit, but that doesn't mean that they can't come back right away. These could be spikes from the concerts, like when they had the Snoop Dogg and things like that going on. You might get spikes here and there in activity. But nonetheless, there's a lot of potential sitting here for this game, and Sandbox as a whole, this metaverse, has a lot of really interesting things going on. Now the interesting part with sand going to the chart is that it really hasn't had that much volume per se. This is a daily chart, and you can see the VFI has consistently been very bullish. It is a little overbought at the moment on the daily, so keep that in mind if you're looking for a position. This does have a little bit of room to come down, and we'll talk about where I think it could potentially come down. But at the same time, it could find a support, and I'll show you a little bit of that as well. Now, before we got to this little area, we did have this megaphone. Now, originally when we had our impulses, we had a nice move. We had our continuation pattern right here, which is a bull flag, and this continued to push up and continue its move into the 79-cent range. From here, we've been doing more of a megaphone pattern, which is going to be the top's resistance and the bottom support. Now we had 3 support bounces here, and we're finally able to go from a downtrending support into an uptrending support in these last 2 long-term support holds. One from around September 30th and one from around June 26th. Now we have a middle point here that I did mark already, and that could be either from this point or we can go from here. I do like this a little bit better. We could even bring this up and make more contact. And from here, this could be a midpoint within this wedge because now we're in a rising wedge per se. If we want to break out on the top side, we definitely want to find support potentially around the 1.15, 1.17 area, even to 1.2 range. We might find a decent support on top of this flag and this candle wicked area before we get to our next impulse leg. If this doesn't want to continue to move up or down, now this is one of those that's going to sit very strongly with Bitcoin, but in terms of volatility, the volatility on this project is going to be relatively low compared to a lot of the other altcoins you'd be playing with, just because of the NFT gaming value of it, and there's not going to be a lot of people essentially selling off sand per se. It's important to keep in mind here as well that from March 21st, when we had our major dip, sand did create all-time highs in this last push, and we haven't even tested all-time high on Bitcoin, so there's a lot of forward steam going for sand. I think this project can easily impulse out of this wedge that we're in right now, and I think it easily push to the $2 range. I don't think that's anything far-fetched. $2.50 could be even manageable. But keep in mind that the stochastics, the fast and the slow stochastic, are showing that we're relatively overbought at the moment. So if price wanted to come down, for example, and test the 68 to 70 cent range, I wouldn't be too surprised. Even if it wanted to get back down to 60 cents, I wouldn't be surprised. Just make sure to watch Bitcoin, and if you want to learn more or come join our accelerator group on our Discord, I'll leave the link below, and we can go in depth about this topic. Now this is going to wrap up our sand conversation. Please make sure to do your own diligence. This is not financial advice. Check out sand when you get the chance. It is a really great project. I'd highly recommend it. And before we get out of here, if you didn't get a chance to throw a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, anything like that, that'd be greatly appreciated. And I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their night, and we'll catch you on the next one.